Hey everybody, I'm Chris Fafalius, and I'm the producer of Krista Makes a Podcast and the host of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
And I'm Matt Kelly, host of Horror Movie Night and the producer / the head of content for the Geekscape Podcasting Network.
Between the two of us, we have, believe it or not, 25 years of podcasting experience, and we want to help you start your own podcast.
We know podcasting, and we want to share that knowledge with you.
So whether you're new to podcasting or you want some feedback on your currently active podcast, we want to help.
Or perhaps you're just overwhelmed with all of the editing work. Well, we can help you with that also.
You can check out our website at weknowpodcasting.com for more information.
We're excited to help your podcasting dreams become a reality.
Ginny and Georgia.
We're talking Ginny and Georgia.
Ginny and Georgia. It's me and Julie and Matt today.
Ginny and Georgia loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
Matt called it trash TV, and I was like really upset because I was like, I truly fucking loved it.
He literally wants me to go on Ray's podcast and do it, and I'm like, excuse me?
I know. Well, he said it. He said that because we went for a walk yesterday because it's been beautiful here in Pennsylvania. And he was like, I knew I couldn't even ask you because you love it so much. And I was like, I mean, you could try Kathleen because like, I don't know if she loved it as much as I did. So he said he was going to ask you, but
I literally watched it the day it came out and I finished it the next day.
I fucking loved it. I don't know if I just loved the actress that played Georgia so much.
She's perfect.
It's not that like when I say it's trashy, like I watch a lot of things that are trashy. I still enjoy them. But like this is like so like I didn't know what I was in for. I knew nothing about this show.
Well, neither did I. I thought they were sisters.
I thought it was going to be one of two things. I thought it was either going to be like really, really sitcom-y or that it was going to be like basically just like a modern version of like the Gilmore Girls. Like that was like what my expectations were. It's so soap opera-y like throughout it. Like I wasn't like, oh, this is trash, I don't want to watch it. I was like, oh, this is that good stuff. This is that good trash.
It's just so much happening.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. They took a general Gilmore Girls plot, right? Like for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's a 31-year-old mom and a 15, 16-year-old daughter. So she had her when she was super young. I read articles in the beginning of each year, whatever, where it's like, show's coming to Netflix this year, and I read the blurb. And I remember reading this blurb months ago and it being like a Gilmore Girls-esque show. And then before I watched the show, I read a recap of someone who already had binged it somehow because maybe they got it prior because it was the day of. So this review was like, it is Gilmore Girls, but also insane. It's like they couldn't shove any more plot points into the show, and I totally agree. I fucking loved it, and I will say that it surprised me, pleasantly surprised, because I truly didn't really have any idea what was going to happen. It went from being cute and sweet to at least Ginny's side really stressing me out, and I ended up not really liking her character at all. I thought they were going a different way with her. The whole Georgia storyline was on point for me.
Chef's kiss.
10 out of 10.
But see, that's the thing is I find the Georgia side of it, like when I talk about like it being trashy, like I think it's because like the Georgia storyline to me, like I love it, but like I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh wait, there's fucking murder now in this story.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's so outrageous.
Yeah, but I think it's like Georgia is like a good bad person. Like she says it like all the time. Like she's doing the shit she's doing to protect her family. And Georgia came from a fucked up family. Yeah, but like, don't compare her to Cersei. Like, come on.
Yeah, no.
Like, she married that guy who was creeping on her.
Yeah.
Let's not get that twisted. She was a young girl, and he kept being like, when are you gonna let me take you out? Like a fucking weirdo. And then she ended up marrying, and of course she's gonna fucking kill him for his fortune. She didn't love him. She could have maybe not killed him, but it was all to save Ginny and not put Ginny in the system.
I thought you were talking about the guy from the motel. You're talking about the ex-husband whose money is in play right now.
I'm talking about the guy from the motel.
Oh.
She killed him.
She killed both of them.
Yes.
Okay, so what fortune are you talking about with?
Did I say fortune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did I say that?
You were saying that she killed him so that she could get the fortune
Yeah,
for
so
the
you're
kids.
morphing the two.
No, I didn't mean to say that.
Okay.
I don't know why I said that. It was so she didn't lose Ginny to child services.
Exactly. Well, that's
Yeah.
why she married him anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I did say to get his fortune.
Yeah.
No, I think what I meant was like to just take everything that he had, like money wise, which wasn't a fortune. I mean, it was just some fucking guy, but at least like take the money and run and go somewhere else. And like, I think I loved it so much because like the first couple episodes, you're like, all right, like what's going on? Like, not even the first couple, just like the first episode. And then you get into like flashbacks of when Georgia was younger and like the shit that she went through, and she gets involved with like a biker gang, but it ends up like protecting her. Like she's like this young girl, and that's where she meets Ginny's dad, and like you get like the
Zion
whole
is sexy.
Who is he? Yes.
Yeah, fuck Scott Porter, Zion all the way.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit is she's got like a Kevin Spacey in House of Cards type thing where it's just like she's doing all these terrible things, but you're just like, she's never going to get caught. Like she's just always like many
she's always
steps
like
ahead.
she's always a couple steps ahead. Like even the whole situation with like the money that she was stealing, and when you think that
Anxiety.
yeah, you think like, oh fuck, she's fucked, and then they're like, no, the money's there, it's fine. And then the guy that she works with, I'm blanking on his name.
He's the best.
He's fantastic.
That Babadook costume,
Oh
the
my
gay
God.
icon
When
Babadook
he,
my
when
costume.
gosh.
he shows up as for their karaoke night dressed
Avril
as Avril Lavigne.
Oh, too good. But he's just like, let's just get through it. Like, this was just deposited this morning. Like, he's like on to her. But you do wonder, like, how the fuck does she know? Because she's even like, yeah, I knew you were going to break into my office and check the accounts. Like, but it's like, bitch, how did you know?
I bet she's got hidden cameras everywhere. She's knowing everything that everyone is saying or sending. She's got so many contingency plans, I think, for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything with Georgia I loved, right? But I will say that a lot of her storylines were giving me anxiety, whether it's her stealing tickets and taking money from the sophomore sleepover, which you loved so much.
Oh, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I was like,
You're
why
like, fuck me up, sophomore sleepover.
Yes, like I was like, this is so
What's
fun.
our
It was like
volleyball marathon?
exactly, but it was like just their grade, and like
Yeah.
people are fucking sneaking off and getting drunk in classrooms. People are banging. Like I'm like, this is sexy. I love this.
Should we get into the plot? Like, should we walk through what the show's even about?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you want me to do it?
you go ahead.
Okay. I kind of wrote it down, so we'll see what I got. So it's Ginny and Georgia, and then there is a little brother, Austin, who's really motherfucking cute.
Heartthrob little cutie.
So it's Ginny and Georgia, and then Austin is Georgia's other kid, but with another guy who's in jail. And they're moving from somewhere I forget to Massachusetts because her ex-husband had died, which you find out Georgia killed him. But we'll get to it.
For his fortune.
Yeah, well, fortune, and I love that it's because he was fucking creeping on Ginny. And when Ginny realizes that, I was like,
I thought we were gonna see some fucked up shit.
I
like
know.
the yoga pose scene. Like I was
Yeah.
like, what are we about to fucking see? But Ginny's
I ride
also
for
like,
Georgia.
yeah. Well, Georgia sees that, and Ginny's also like, get the fuck off me. Like, and I was like glad to see that because.
Yeah.
Of course, like in that situation, no one knows how they'd fucking react. Like you just like tense up and you just don't say anything.
I mean, I'm not surprised that Georgia killed him because of that. I was hoping it wasn't just for the fucking money.
Yeah.
Because I think Georgia knows when she has a good thing going. If she needs to fake it with a guy that she doesn't really love so they can be secure.
Yep.
But I love that the twist was she was sexually assaulted. She had a shitty childhood. She's seeing this happen to her daughter. She was not protected. She's like, fuck that. I love that. And I was like, put those flowers in my smoothie. That looks delicious. Don't kill me, but it looks delicious. Seriously.
literally.
Can't believe that those flowers act that fast. That was like all in the drank. I thought she was like slowly poisoning him.
Oh, those tricky words.
So they show up immediately. Georgia gets a job, like tries to get a job, and it's like with the mayor, which is Scott Porter, who plays, I think his name is George, or Mayor Paul. I don't love him. Did you watch Friday Night Lights?
I did.
Jason Street.
Yeah. So like, did you watch Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Loved
like, Jason Street was like, sure. The first episode, like, yeah, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, but then I don't want to say I hated him because that's like too far, but like because like Matt Saracen was my everything.
Me too.
Like I was not a Tim Riggins girl. I was a Matt
Me
Saracen.
fucking too, which is
Humana,
sorry, that was a bad high five,
I
but
know.
I'm shook that
Because
you're
I
not a
would've been
Riggins boy.
Yeah, no, I was
A
Matt
Riggins boy.
Saracen. I get it. And his girlfriend's name was Julie, which is just ironic. But anyways,
Also in Scream 4.
Yes. Julie Taylor.
Julie Taylor.
I started to dislike him. I think it was because like
in this show, not in which show?
No, in Friday Night Lights.
Oh.
Like I and so I wasn't like a fan of him then, and I also wasn't like I was a team. Oh my god, I'm
Me
fucking
too.
blanking on his name.
In Heart of Dixie, the blonde guy.
The other guy.
Yeah, me as well.
So I just like I'm just not a fan of him in general, and of course he played like similar to George. Like he played like basically the same role as George in this show.
Yeah, my favorite thing is Mae Whitman is obsessed with Friday Night Lights, and over the course of her career, she's kissed like all of them, and it's like some like in shows, right?
Oh my god! Wait,
Yeah, so Matt, who plays Ryan on Parenthood, is from Friday Night Lights, and then when in the montage at the very last scene, Jason Street is her new beau.
I never finished Parenthood.
What?
I never finished it.
What?
Now I feel like I have to.
Yo, it's good. So next, she gets a job with Mayor Paul. She like weasels her way in. And probably my favorite, first of all, the hottest guy to me is Joe. I love Joe, who's the coffee shop owner.
Yeah, so I'm definitely Team Joe for like who I want Georgia with.
That backstory I was not expecting. How fucking good was that? That's the reason she goes to Massachusetts in the first place, because they had that sweet interaction.
And does she know that it's him?
She knows it's him, yeah, because she says, like, when he says the name of the horses, she's like, a horse named Milkshake or whatever, because that's what the story she told him.
But then Ginny tells the story of the sunglasses, and he's like,
yeah. Oh, my God, it's so good.
yeah. He's like, I wish you didn't just tell me that.
Yeah.
Poor Joe. He loves her.
Loved the Joe backstory. I wanted more. I loved that he didn't know, and he still thought she was charming and sweet and was like falling for her without that story.
Well, and that's her like strong. She's so fucking charming that like anyone, because even like the mayor like falls into her trap of like he's like, I really don't need anyone, and she somehow weasels her way into like working for the mayor with zero background. Like they know nothing about this woman. She just moved in to the freaking city, which love the city.
Yes.
The city is so fucking cute, and the fact that it was like fall fest,
we
fucking
stand.
bury me in a fall fest.
Yeah, me too. Me as
like,
well.
why don't we have fall fest?
Or just hang our corpses up at a fall fest. It'll be right on brand.
It does make me kind of wish that they would have released this like in September. Like it gave
I
me
agree.
so many fall
They
vibes.
might have had hopes to do that.
That is true, because it is a very fall show.
I will say, I
It's a towny
started
show. I love
watching
it.
this show at like 9 p.m. and I had all the lights off in my room, TV off, but I was like, let me put something on my laptop to fall asleep to, which I never do, but I was just like in a weird mood and nothing was making me happy that day, and I was like, I guess I'll just watch that show, and I hit play and I stayed up till like 1 a.m. watching, because I was like, okay, this is bringing me joy. And I think you're right, it is kind of those like fall vibes. I loved the town they were in, classic like
Loved
Ritchie,
it.
Massachusetts, very wealthy area, which is another reason why it's like they fit in. They bought this house, but her with all the credit cards, and when she got Austin's cards found by Paul, I was like, I'm gonna die. Just kill me.
Well, and
Absolutely.
you also like hate that. You're like, no, you're not applying for a fucking credit card with your 7-year-old's information.
She's just hoping that she gets that bajillion dollars and
Yeah.
pays it off and everything's fine. Oh.
Stressful.
Well, I texted you where I said I wish that the show was called Maxine and Sophie.
Oh,
because like
yes.
that I was so invested in every element of that couple.
Okay, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Because, all right, well, wait. So, anyway, to wrap up Georgia's just like vague description is like she just starts messing with PTA moms and trying to make herself a name in this town, and she's doing shady shit and stealing. But like she has way deeper storylines as it goes through, but we'll get to them. Ginny is where I really have some thoughts. And at first, when they first showed Ginny, she's sitting in class and she tells off her teacher. And that's when Max is first like, like, I love this girl. And this first interaction, and Max is the best character in the whole show.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I totally
She's
agree
so
with that
lovable,
statement.
yeah.
Honestly, just call it Max. I don't even need to, and Sophie. Like, Max can date whoever the fuck she wants. I didn't specifically love Sophie.
But she loved Sophie.
Oh, big time. But I loved that Max, like, one of the first things she said to Ginny was like, what's your sexual orientation? She's like, oh, there's no good gays around here. And I love that, because every story is like a coming out story, right? And I like this one. She's just like out and proud, Les. She's like, all right, let's go, baby. I loved Max.
Yeah, I loved Max too.
Great friend. Best friend. The other two, fuck it.
Yeah, the other two fucking suck.
The A and the N in Mang.
Yeah,
Fuck
we
off.
could do without them.
Although we do have to dive into the short one because she has some issues.
Right. Yeah, she does have. What's her, Abby?
Yeah.
Abby, you get like a little bit more into like why Abby is the way she is.
She obviously is.
She has some like issues
Yeah.
going on with like her own shit. But I hated the scene with the fucking stealing. And they're like,
Oh, me
we didn't
too.
know that she was stealing. And I'm like, you fucking little bitches.
They are the kids from Happiest Season.
Yes.
Putting the necklace in the bag and being like, no.
Yes.
But it is so charming. Like, I hated how Ginny is obviously a teenager. She's allowed to get mad at her mom all the time. But Georgia saved her so many times, and everything she does is for her. And she is just a brat the whole fucking.
Yeah, and she doesn't see it. Like, Max is like, I love Georgia. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, because she is. And it also took me like not too long, but
Schitt's
to realize
Creek.
it was Jocelyn.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, it was like the end of the first episode that I'm like, fucking Jocelyn. Like, because she looks totally different. But
much better without that stupid Schitt's Creek haircut.
yeah, she just like, Georgia is like more of like a friend mom. Whereas like, oh my God, I'm going to call her Jocelyn. What's the mom's name?
Ellen.
I'm
Max and
like,
Marcus's
it's a mom name.
Yeah.
She's more of like a mom. So
Yeah, of
like
course.
that's obviously why like Max is like attracted to like, oh my God, Georgia's so cool. Like, and also she's like a hot ass young mom. Like, she's like, that actress is beautiful.
Mhm. Oh my God! Wait, how cool was the deaf representation from the dad? I loved that they're all
Yes.
just talking in sign language the whole time. That was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're goofy and fun and cute couple.
Yeah, they are.
You bring up a good point too, because this was a review that I saw, but like, yes, it's very easy to compare this to the Gilmore Girls, based on just like the initial, hey, she's 30 and her daughter's 15 type thing. But the comparison really stops there. And like the one review said,
100%.
like, this show actually highlights how much of like an emotional nightmare it would actually be to have a mom that constantly just wants to be your friend and not your mom. And like that was like the big difference, I think, is like you watch Gilmore Girls and it's literally just like Lorelai and Rory are just like best buddies, just palling around town and like finish each other's jokes and know all of their references. And like throughout this, I do appreciate, as frustrating as Ginny's storyline is, I like the realisticness of it where she's just over it. Like,
Yeah.
like it's
I agree with that.
like it's kind of like you have like those you hear all those horror stories, well, not horror stories, but you hear those stories of like women who marry comedians and everyone's like, oh, you just must laugh all the time. And it's like, no, it's actually exhausting to be around him because of this. Like,
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff where it's not the stuff where she's getting annoyed at her for like normal teenage stuff. It's when the sister shows up, Georgia's sister shows up, and she fucking freaks out, being like, you lied to me my whole life. And when Georgia finally admits to her, like, listen, I was sexually assaulted. I don't feel the need to tell you this. You're a kid. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, that's the reason I keep it a secret and stuff. That was a powerful moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're being such a bitch, Ginny. Like, please stop. I mean, of course, we know everything because we are the viewer.
Yes.
But I'm still like, I loved Ginny to start, and I just became increasingly frustrated with her. And she started getting a little bit Katie Hare and Mean Girls vibes, like with the friend group and getting really cocky.
Yep.
And I mean, I liked a lot of her storylines. I loved the biracial stuff with Hunter, even though that conversation was getting some criticism, the one they have in the bedroom where he says like oppression Olympics or something, and which we can get into later. I read a couple good articles on it. Mostly, I mean, we can get into it right now. I'll just do it very short. Mostly it's like on Netflix, the biracial representation is almost always the white parent single parenting, and it's like that's just not there's certain things where they are representation, but you're not doing it to the full extent.
well, it's kind of the same thing as like in the 90s, it was like always this popular thing of like the white teacher coming into the black school district and cleaning up the place type attitude.
Yeah, right.
The whole focal point is how this one white person has saved an entire community.
Exactly.
Like,
And I love that. So I brought it up on our Bold Type episode with Kat, and I loved it because it's not something I'm really exposed to. So I like watching the conversation. But even me, I didn't pick up until I read the articles that it's still underrepresented and maybe wrongly represented in the, I'm like, damn, like there's still so much work to be done.
Yeah.
But that's why I read the articles, because I'm like, I need to learn,
Yeah.
The part that hit me, the scene in the bathroom when the one girl's like, I'm jealous of you because I can't just throw on a white wig, a blonde wig and blend in.
Oh, yes.
And I was like,
oh my God.
holy shit, what a line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a great line. I've totally
Yeah.
forgot. I didn't write that down. I forgot that about that character. Yeah, what it was for me was I wasn't sure why she was mad at her at the or not mad at her, but kind of judging her at the Halloween party or whatever the emotion was. I don't think I understood why. I thought she was just being like, you chose Britney Spears. Like, I thought she wanted her to be like something like smarter or cooler, not just like basic. I thought she was judging her for being basic. And then that conversation, I was like, oh fuck, like she can do the blonde wig and it not be weird because she is mixed. Like, oh my God. So good.
If I was at a party and a group of girls came down as all the different eras of Britney Spears, I'd be fucking licking that shit up. That's so good.
Me too. That was an incredible. And then Max's
change.
I'm like, as
with
if
the
they
snake.
Could,
oh my God.
They decided
fantastic.
that fucking day, I think they were being Britney Spears and came up with those epic costumes.
Yeah, like while Ginny was working after school, they came up with that.
That was easily Max's low point of the series, and I think probably her only low point. And I'll tell you, her high point was the performance she gave while going off and fighting with Ginny in the sides.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. And then the fight out in the hallway was good. And when Ginny's like, Abby, I can't believe you fucking said it. And Abby's like, you whore.
Yeah.
You
Abby's
actual
like,
whore.
fuck you.
I know.
Abby's like, Hunter, did you know that Ginny's cheating on you with Marcus?
Fuck. We haven't even said Marcus's name yet.
I know.
And you love him.
Oh my God, do I? So like, I thought Hunter was the most cringe character of all time.
Oh my God, when he
No.
was singing
Every-
on
I love
Snapchat.
Marcus. I love Hunter.
Oh, Matt, you got some learning to do if you think he's charming. The tap dance down the
Oh, I
fucking
love that.
hallway.
I
I
loved
know you
that.
would enough. If you didn't dance, you probably would not. The tap dance on her birthday, that was her gift.
Okay,
Bye.
I honestly loved that.
I'll break your
Flash
feet.
mobbed
Yeah,
her.
he
That's
flash mobbed
awesome.
it for me.
Nah.
It was the singing Snapchats in the morning. It was the like he's just
Happy Friday, Ginny.
Yeah, no, I can't deal with that. I was like,
I'm gonna do that
I
to you
know.
every day
I'm not
now.
saying I think Hunter's great in every way, but like Hunter was fine. I like Marcus too, but like
You can't backtrack now. You are Team Hunter. You
I
flat
am-
out said it.
Oh, I'm Team Hunter over the two.
I was way more invested in George's love life than I was for Ginny, and I'll say that because Ginny was cringing me out. Like Ginny cringes me out. Honestly, if we're gonna talk about cringe. She sent Hunter the picture of the bra, and then immediately sends it to Marcus because Hunter didn't answer. I mean, he
With
never
her
really
face
answered.
clearly face tuned. She like randomly has red lipstick on in that picture.
Yeah, it's like I liked it as a coming of age for Ginny, and I love the actress who plays her. And when we get into the Taylor Swift stuff, I'm so glad that the actress who plays Ginny spoke out
yeah.
because there's so much good in this show for Taylor to make a comment about it is her right, but it's also like I hope it doesn't dissuade people from
To watch
watching
it.
it because
Well, I don't know because some Taylor Swift stans are sedans.
well, I'll tell you that it could go either way. It could go that it will dissuade people from watching, but Taylor put it on like a national thing by tweeting that people could be like, oh, I want to check that out.
True.
Like I'll watch the show just for that line to find the line.
Well,
And-
so I didn't watch the show till after that because remember I sent it to you and was like, I
Yeah.
cannot believe you told me to watch this after they're throwing shade at Taylor Swift, and I was waiting for it. And it's not till the last episode that
Oh,
she says
really?
it. Yeah, it's not till the very last episode.
damn, I thought it was early.
No, it's the very last episode. So like I was like, where the fuck does she even say this? And it's like literally when Ginny and Georgia are fighting and she's like, you go through more guys than Taylor Swift.
Okay, so I think I read this on our last episode, but one of our episodes, but I'm going to read it again.
Time out.
Yeah.
You do this, but then we have to go through the Hunter and Marcus
Okay.
because we just totally jumped over that.
Oh, do you want to just save Taylor? Because I have a lot to say.
Okay, yeah. We'll be back to the Taylor thing.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I thought Marcus was such like a hottie bad boy. Like loved him. Like I texted Kathleen because you guys know I have a past with like thinking young boys are hot. And when I
scared.
say that,
I'm
I mean
scared.
like 19. Okay, I'm not like whatever.
I'm scared.
Anyways, and Kathleen was like, no, hot, like 100%
Oh, yeah,
hot.
Definitely hot.
So like the whole like coming to her bedroom window at night, like okay, scream Billy Loomis, yes, we need that.
That's the one thing I fucking hated. And
What?
in TV shows, I die. Joel, you could knock on my door at any given day and I will look fucking disgusting. Like, there's no way I will
Same.
ever look presentable. It's the climbing through the window and texting like I'm at your front door type thing and not having to be like, fuck, like I'm disgusting. I haven't showered in 10 days. Like, shit like that. That whole trope in general for me, but no. And especially with the whole like Ginny with like the hurting herself and the flame.
But that
and
was why, like, I'm like, fuck yeah, that he keeps doing that, because he like, she's like, no one would know that she's doing that to herself until he came through the window the one night and she was like, Ginny, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
He was really good about it.
Yeah, like he was like, are you okay? Like whatever, and like continuously checked up on her, which like you like love to see. Like they cover a lot on this show, like a lot of like they cover like body dysmorphia and like hurting yourself. Like there's like a lot of things going on that they don't like. I guess now they're putting it more in shows, but like there's a lot covered.
Yeah, I was honestly shocked by Abby's the duct tape on the legs. I've never seen that before. So in the episode where
When the
they're
guy
playing
makes
strip,
that comment.
yeah, they're playing strip or Truth or Dare. They're going to switch clothes, and she freaks out. I was like, oh, I feel really bad for her.
Or how about when she's like giving that guy a lap dance and he like says like,
that's
get off like thunder thighs, calls her something, and I'm like,
she's
I will
literally
fucking
10 pounds.
Yeah, I will fucking kill that guy. That guy can fuck off. I was mad.
Yeah, fuck that. I mean, basically all the friends that
Hunter-
aren't
all of
Hunter,
Hunter's friends.
Marcus,
Yeah.
and then Max and Ginny. I'm like, I don't care about you
Yeah,
at
you
all.
can all go. But Marcus, so me and Matt talked about the very uncomfortable comment that Marcus makes the first time him and Ginny have sex when he says, will 2 fingers fit? We didn't need that. And he then claims a couple episodes later that he did not know he was taking her virginity. So why would you ask that
It was
question?
his virginity too.
I know, guys. We find that out the last episode, but
I think you phrased that wrong. Doesn't he say like, can I add another finger?
no, he literally says, will
do you
2
think
fingers
2
fit?
fingers will fit?
And she's
because
like,
he's inexperienced.
and she's like, yeah, I guess so.
He's inexperienced.
True. And he's
That's
hot.
why he says it. I don't think it's like what is cringe to you about it?
No, just like, don't ask me, just do it.
I think it was like he was trying to be a sweet boy.
I mean, I don't.
Consent is
I just.
sexy.
I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cringe.
Like cringe, like to a watcher, just being like, "Oh God."
It's any classic young sexual experience, right? I mean,
True. I think we just get a vibe from him previously of like him like making out with his, like that. This is like a very experienced boy. Like you don't.
what's her name? Padma? Did I make that up? Padma and him seem like they were probably banging.
They're banging all the time.
Yeah, they're banging, and apparently not.
Him and Ginny, they just did it for me. I loved them.
Yeah, I mean, I vote for Marcus.
But I wish that she would just tell Max. Like this could have all been totally avoided.
The issue of it all is that she fucked him immediately. It's not like I like your brother. I'm trying to kiss him. We've kissed a few times. It's like we fucked.
Yeah, I fucked your brother.
And then the way she found out was through those horrid, cringy texts we've already been talking about the text. Like, are you touching yourself? Did you finish? Like, Jesus fucking
And then
Christ.
she uses her toothbrush.
And then they show a scene like at the like in
Her
her
waking
bed,
up, yeah.
and it's like all fucked up.
Oh my God.
gnarly.
Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious.
It is a funnier show than I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. I laughed a lot while watching it.
I think I truly felt like joy, like exactly what you said. Like you needed something to like make you feel happy. Like I felt happy watching it. Like I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed watching it. And that could have been like because I loved Georgia, I loved Max, like I loved Marcus. So I was like really, obviously characters make or break a show. If you fucking love anyone, you're invested. But Hunter didn't do it for me. Even when he performed and sang that song, I was like still not into this.
I liked the tap dance. I liked the family dinner at his family.
Oh, I did like that.
That
Yes.
was really cute and sweet. But I think just in general, for us, we know that Ginny's heart's not fully in it because she has Marcus, and I think that deters us from liking him as much as we possibly could. It would take, for us to also like Hunter, it would take us really liking Hunter. Like, he would have to be an awesome written character.
This isn't going to be a show where you're like, there's going to be Team Hunter and Team Marcus. Like, the show narratively is very much telling us who we are supposed to be rooting for. I guess where my sympathy lies with Hunter is that I actually feel bad for him because he's so in the dark that like Ginny's not as interested in him as he is in her, but he's like putting in all that, like he puts in more effort than Marcus does. And like, that's where like, I almost feel bad for him, is that like, he's putting in the effort. He's trying really hard to be like a good boyfriend, and he's not getting like any of that reciprocated. In fact, not only is he not getting that reciprocated, but his girlfriend is like actively fucking and sending photos to somebody else while it's happening. So like, there's that part of me that's just like, yeah, I like Hunter. He's been done dirty in this show.
Yeah.
You also have to think too, like, yes, she does him dirty for sure. But when you're like a young girl, has never had a boyfriend, you're like, you obviously are into like she is into Hunter. She just obviously likes Marcus more than she likes Hunter. And she knows that Marcus is like emotionally not available and it's Max's brother. But like, when you're not getting that attention from someone else, you're like, I need to find someone that I'm going to get this fucking attention from. And Marcus is there. Like, it's fucked up. But like, of course she's going to jump to Marcus. That's like, damn, like you look sexy. And it's like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm going to continue this conversation. Because nothing worse than like sending a risky text and you see them typing and then no response.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest fuck you of all time. And then of course he was like, I was like, I don't know. What was he doing? Reading a book or something. He was reading like,
he was reading
so
it for
smart.
her.
Yeah, he read an entire book so that they could talk about it.
Oh,
so he had
I
something to
missed
talk
that.
about with
I
her.
missed that.
That's what I mean. Like he puts in more work than
What was it?
necessary.
The Odyssey?
No. I want to say it was something that was like a Jane Austen novel or something.
It was. I can't remember. Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
I said the Odyssey.
That's so interesting you said that, because I just brought up the Odyssey the other day.
Yeah, I don't know
I
why.
made a stupid joke about the Odyssey the other day.
I don't know why I was thinking it was that.
I love that. We've got brainwaves. Just in general, the way they portray like high school friendships, like in that text groups, Joel. Like when they're going back and forth, and it's like just like Ginny in bed getting texts in a group, and then they were separately texting, being like, "Is that what you really want about the pajama pants?"
Pajamas, yeah.
And that it really is what it's like to be a girl in high school, and that gags me.
Even like a girl now, but like not in that sense of like meanness, just being like, if you want to vent, like we're not really in like any group chats, but if I ever want to vent to you, like I'll text you something like, and I'll just like stare at your name like Kathleen, and like before I hit send, because I am like so fucking paranoid about sending like a text to the wrong person. But you need your girlfriends for that. But like it was like stupid shit, and you could tell that Ginny was like, Katie Harron is like the perfect example, because that's really like Max is amazing. Never would compare her to Regina George. The other two were like, I don't know.
Followers.
But you can tell she's just like overwhelmed with friendship, and she's just like kind of just like playing it.
Yeah, they move around
Playing
so
it
much.
safe, yeah.
It's like Ginny is gaining popularity and she likes it, right? Which is the Katie Harron of it all. But Abby, the whole time, keeps making crazy comments like, everyone loves Ginny. Ginny's coming. Ginny this, Ginny that. And it's like, okay, she's got like Marsha syndrome. I don't understand where that's coming from. She was a bitch right off the jump.
So did either of you get the vibe that like Abby had something for Max? Because
I think Abby wanted something with anybody.
Because I was like getting that vibe. Like I'm like did they hook up or something?
My gaydar is perfection, and I had that thought slightly, but there was no evidence.
Yeah, there was zero.
Did they lay out the order of the relationship?
How
if,
they
like,
became
Abby,
friends?
like if Abby was like the most recent friend, that there's this worry that like there's that excitement of like, I'm the new model. I'm like the exciting addition to the group, and now there's this new addition to the group, and now I'm the old model. Like,
I feel like they say like the three of them have been friends since they were young or something. Like
maybe, I can't remember.
But I
thought,
think
though.
it was because like I got that vibe too, because she was like, oh, like we've all like made out with each other. Like she like says that, and then like maybe like you said, like just wanting to be like wanted by, not even like sexually, just like by your friends. Like you want to feel important, and you're not getting that like attention. Like maybe she was closer with Max, because I can't even think of the other friend's
I've
name.
absolutely felt that though. Like in an unrelated situation, like there was like a group of friends, and I kind of brought these two friends together, and it was like really exciting, because it was like the
He's
trio.
talking about us.
No. It was like, oh, we're like this trio. We like hang out all the time. We talk all the time. And then like suddenly you find out that like, well, now these two people that you introduced are like hanging out and not inviting you. And like, that's fine. That's totally fine. But like, there is that part of you that's like, well, why aren't like,
yeah, why haven't I created you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think everyone has that, like, when it's like your close friends and they like hang out without you, like you're kind of just like, damn, like, I mean, that's just like the feeling of being left out. As I get older, like, I'm like, no one texts me. No one, I don't want to hang out with anybody. But especially when you're young and like you find out that Abby's like got family shit going on. So like, I think her friends are really like all she has. Like, she hasn't really been with anybody. Like, you can tell she wants to be wanted, but like,
she goes about it all the wrong ways.
We don't see her like romantically with anybody throughout season 1.
I could see Abby getting a shit ton of development in the second season and quickly becoming like a favorite character of everybody.
Yeah,
like,
because she was cool and funny in some parts, and then other parts she's just really
like, I think we're gonna get more of that backstory, and she's gonna like turn into the character that you like really sympathize and love in season 2.
I was thinking about how iconic Max is, just as like a friend at first.
Like top 5 best first impressions of a character in any
I
show
agree,
ever.
but it wavered for 1 second when she was at the lunch table and was just like, "We should skip. We should go. And I was like, one of them looks at her and is like, "Max, stop it, chill." And I really thought it was gonna be like, "Oh no, she got the crazy girl, the not so girl." But everything past that, just absolute love. But I was thinking like, it must be so. She's from Degrassi, which I don't watch. So
Max's?
Yeah, probably a later year Degrassi.
Is this another Canadian show?
I actually don't think so.
I was only thinking that because Jocelyn from Schitt's Creek and Degrassi.
Yeah, right.
Degrassi, whatever.
Degrassi. How fun it must have been for that actress and how blown up, because she is so cool, and I don't think anyone could play that part as good as that girl did. She really popped off and shined.
She was
as
phenomenal,
Max.
and I agree. Like, her fighting with Ginny while performing was so fucking good.
I kept being like, don't, Ginny, do not screw this up for her. What a selfish thing to do. She's been practicing this for forever. You're on the sidelines, just taking her off her game, but nobody could take Max off her fucking game. She was slaying. Like, even just the comedy in her being like, yelling at Ginny and then going on stage in this like really hammy way. Oh God, she was killing it.
Yeah, and you're so right, because it could have waited. Like, you guys are fucking neighbors. You could have went over at any point. And like, if I was Ginny, I would want to have the conversation with not those other 2 girls there. Like, I would want to have a one-on-one conversation, just being like, what the fuck's up? Like, what is going on? What did I do to hurt you? Like, you're my best friend. Like, and of course, Ginny has nothing to say at that point when she's like, you are fucking my brother, like my twin brother. But yeah, like, I totally agree. I was worried about it getting screwed up. And like, most of season 1 is like the preparation of this show, and she lands the role that she wants, and like, you're so excited for Max, and she kills it. Bravo, Max. But yeah, I agree. I was like, if Ginny fucks this up, I swear.
So the other thing, kind of ballsy on Ginny's part, and also says a lot about how self-absorbed she is, right? Because let's think about this. All 3 of us, I can confidently say without knowing for sure, that we have been in a situation where we may have even just accidentally said something that may have hurt a friend, and they don't respond to like a text message, and we convince ourselves that it's
death. The world is crumbling.
But Ginny knows what she's doing and is still like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, there's nothing that runs through your head that's like, maybe possibly Max has figured out what's going on.
So true.
Well, yeah,
so true.
But also at the same time, it's like, in Ginny's mind, like, she's like, Marcus would never tell. Marcus would never tell.
Abby saw it, so
yeah, but Abby was like, I didn't see anything. Like, I'm not gonna hurt Max because she's already just been hurt.
Oh, sweet Max.
I know. But the show was like also like the next day. So you have to take that into consideration. Like, I think Ginny truly thought, we will never get caught. This will never come out in the open unless me or Marcus speaks of it.
Oh, no. And I get that. But I just think, even if I'm thinking like, even if I was in those shoes, if I was in Marcus's shoes.
Yeah, you'd be like, she knows.
Like, if you and I live together and I know that I'm doing something that's going to make you really upset and I'm keeping it a secret, and then one day you come in really upset, I'm immediately jumping to, shit, she figured it out.
That's a perfect example.
Like,
There's just no way. I agree. But that just goes to show Ginny is like,
in her own world.
She's in her own world, and she gets very annoying. Like, I'm
Towards
genuinely
the
annoyed.
end, I was like really. annoyed
Anytime
with
Ginny
her.
was on a scene, I was like, okay, but give me Georgia, give me Max, give me anybody really other than.
I actually hated the ending.
What was the ending again?
Like her and Austin like running off on a motorcycle.
To Boston to live with Zion.
I don't know where the fuck
I was
they were
assuming
going.
that's where they
That's
were
my
going.
guess. Is
Yeah.
they're going to
Zion's
Zion.
so high.
I know.
I loved him and Georgia. I love that idea of like two people that
and
are
he
just.
chose like he was like, you clearly like love this guy. Like I ain't it. Like this guy is it. And Ginny doesn't know that. And Ginny's like, you made my dad go away again. Like you did this to my dad. And she's like, your dad fucking chose to leave.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's just like a lot going on, but I would love to see it continue and like be for a couple seasons. Because I want more. Like, I want more of like what's going to happen with the money situation. Because she keeps like playing the guy that's investigating her like left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, she is like Matt said, like 20 steps ahead at all times.
I mean, it is
But now
the
her
number one
sister
show on
is
Netflix,
creeping.
like 2 weeks running. So it is definitely getting a second season.
I think
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it already got picked up or not. I didn't.
They have to renew it. We have so many unanswered questions. Before we wrap it up, let's briefly talk about Austin because we didn't really talk about him at all.
Good point.
Austin's gonna kill somebody if they don't. Like, my favorite scene in this whole show is him hanging out with the therapist outside. Like that scene where he's like, they're just like playing catch,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
and then he's
yeah.
like, "Well, would it be weird if I walk like this?" And he's like, "Yeah," and like that reminded me so much of how I play with like my nieces and nephews. Like
Yeah.
I'll just be goofy, but like it is brilliant in the way that he uses that to like get Austin to open up, because Austin really does need a therapist.
Oh, absolutely.
Like in the
they
worst
both
way.
do. I think
when
Ginny
he
does too.
stabs the other kid in the hand.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, this is going to cut to something else. It's faking me out. And
No,
then
I love that. I'm like, fuck that kid. He's
No,
so
no,
mean.
it's so brutal.
No,
I mean,
I stand by you.
okay, I stand
By
by
you.
you.
Wait, I forgot his name. I meant to say I stand by you, Austin. But I forgot his
I
name.
love Georgia's taglines throughout the whole series. I can't name a single one, but pretty much like when you're down, you hit back. Basically, she had a bunch of different
like her
ones
little like fortune cookie lines, basically.
that were like
yeah.
from her whole life. Like her Zion's mom said one of them to her that which she repeats back to her kids. Like certain ones she gets, which I loved. But for Austin's sake, like Ginny is sweet, right? Like Ginny may have fucked up, but she's like a good person. She's sweet. I feel like Austin has been seeing a lot of things that
Fucked up stuff.
yeah, like he needs help, and he like her being like just punch him right in the fucking face, like him punching the kid in the face, and then Georgia threatening the kid to silence right in front of him. Like
Yeah.
that's not good.
I'll tell you the most uncomfortable I got watching the show, where I was like, oh no, something really bad's gonna go down. And then it wasn't that bad, but it was when Ginny walked into her room and Austin was just sitting in the corner, and I was like, yo, does he have the gun? Like I went
Yeah.
through like a million different things. I'm like, yo, he's gonna fucking kill his sister. Like what's about to happen?
Yeah, you
And-
guys went real. I mean, I don't think that
You didn't
badly.
get the Austin dark vibes.
I got the dark vibes, but I didn't think he was gonna shoot Ginny. I just
Oh
No,
well,
but I
didn't
just
he was
think
gonna
I was
shoot
like,
Ginny either,
something
but-
really fucked up's about to happen, and then it was just that he found out that like his mom was writing
him
the
all
letters.
the notes and saying that his dad like lived in Hogwarts or something.
Again, good intentions by Georgia.
Yeah. Well, and now that's another thing that we'll probably get in season 2 of his dad, because she was like, you put our return address on those letters.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something going on with his dad too.
I will say that if Georgia was just a little more upfront, the kids wouldn't be doing such crazy things.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
just keeps everything from there.
There's definitely like, you don't have to sit down and tell him the whole thing, but like I feel like Ginny is at an age where you could at least be like, look, I need to let you know that my name is actually an alias and that really bad things happened to me when I was a girl, and we cannot let this information, like,
Yeah.
she's old enough to handle that information.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to Google interviews with Georgia's actress because her southern accent is so damn charming. I know that cannot be her accent in real life, but how charming is her? Every time she
know.
talked, I was smiling.
Wait, so you never got into your Taylor Swift thing?
Oh, I don't really have to. I'll read it one last time because it is so interesting. I think we can't not read the tweet. Taylor Swift, a couple days after the show dropped, tweeted, Hey, Ginny and Georgia, 2010 called and it wants its lazy, deeply sexist joke back. How about we stop degrading hard-working women by defining this horseshit as funny? Also, at Netflix, after Miss Americana, this outfit doesn't look cute on you, broken heart. Happy Women's History Month, I guess. And this is after, in the 10th episode, Ginny says to Georgia, what do you care? You go through men faster than Taylor Swift. Now, I get it. Lazy joke. When I watched it, I thought, that's not funny. Not even in a feminist sexist way, which it is, but in a way where it's like, that's an old ass joke. Like, even if the sexism and shit wasn't a problem, it's not funny.
I didn't even take it as something because it's like a heated argument. Like,
Yeah.
she's not like, they're not like messing around in that scene.
Which almost makes it worse because it's like using Taylor Swift as like the absolute worst
Like a
person you could
negative
be as a girl.
I think like exactly what you said. It's just outdated. Like it's
It
just
is.
kind of like you could have just said like you go through men more than anyone I've ever known, or like
Yeah, and
something.
it is. 2010 called is hilarious. First of all, the tweet is scorching hot, like an amazing tweet. But it's also like, listen, I really hope, like I said earlier, that this doesn't dissuade people from watching it because these people work so hard, and I know the actress who played Ginny was getting shit for it. It's like she didn't write the line.
Yeah, she didn't write the script.
I can't believe it got through so many iterations of the script. It's just straight up not funny. It's one thing if it's like a scorching hot joke and it's like shady, like it's like, ooh, that's probably gonna get some heat, but funny. Like recently on the As the Bell Rings, Saved by the Bell reboot, they make a joke about Selena Gomez and like lupus. They make a joke about like
I heard
her
about
liver
that. And it's like
or transplant or kidney or whatever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't meant to be like
Hurtful.
Yeah, but it got so much heat, and it's not why I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it eventually, but I'm like, damn, one stupid joke and it just explodes, and every article you Google about that show is about that. And Taylor knows her reach, so there's two ways. It probably helped them, honestly. Taylor is so large that it probably brought more eyes to the show. But at the same time, it's like, I'm so glad the actress who played Ginny said something about it, because Taylor, you don't have to comment on every fucking thing. Everyone gets shit on sometimes.
And that's kind of one of those things where I feel like at a certain point of your like celebritydom, like you just got to take it.
Yeah.
You got to like it's like it's just going to happen.
Yeah, you're doing better than the guy that wrote the fucking script. Like, that's not.
I know. And I'm a Swiftie as hell. Like in this room, I'm the biggest Swiftie here, but I'm like, I saw it. I went, ooh, I winced at the joke in the show and I winced at the tweet.
I was talking to someone who's like such a diehard T Swift fan, and even she was like, let's not pretend that Taylor doesn't have a little bit of slut shaming past as well. Like,
yeah, literally.
This is like the one hill that you don't have the moral high ground enough to like die on.
Yeah, cue Better Than Revenge off of Speak Now.
Yes.
Come
oh my
on.
God. First of all, that song is fantastic.
It's a fantastic song, but she knows girls are petty, whatever. It's just a line. You don't have to say anything about it. And I stand with Ginny and Georgia, although you're kind of fucking stupid if you think you can come for Taylor Swift and she ain't going to clap back.
Yeah.
Don't come for Taylor Swift in 2021.
So the actress that played Ginny, Antonia Gentry, came back and said, as someone who grew up feeling voiceless and unimportant and who did not see herself reflected on screen, Ginny Miller was finally a reprieve.
Yeah. I mean, she posted a long ass thing, but
that was just a piece of it that E-News.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that she was like, these are the benefits of watching this show. This is like what you'll see.
Don't not watch this because of one stupid line.
There's great representation in the show. It might not be spot on, and I might have shit on Ginny this entire episode, but I loved it, and I can't wait for her to get better.
Yeah.
Like, I know I love her. She will get better. I know it, but she's just annoying in this season. She is.
And if any of our listeners are like people that attack actresses and actors
just
for
don't.
shit like this, just don't do better.
Do it. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. This girl's what, fucking 16, 17 years old?
Yeah.
Leave her the fuck alone. And with that being said,
Ginny
we're
and
gonna
Georgia.
wrap it up. If you haven't watched Ginny and Georgia and you just listened to this episode, we
You're
spoiled
crazy.
everything, but you should still watch it because, like me and Kathleen said, it gave us pure joy and happiness.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Yep.
And we can't wait for season 2. We hope that there is one.
Any shit I talked on it is only because I care.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
We do.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.